Everyone, my name is Mark Peralivas, and that rhymes with For All of Us, and I'm the Guelph candidate for the People's Party for the October federal election. I hope you vote for me. Today I'm going to talk to you about the People's Party plank on refugees, ending open border policies, and prioritizing persecuted groups. Now, as Canada Poly, I did a 20-episode deep dive on the Global Compact for Migration, and I've been talking about our open borders and what the Liberals have done to our immigration system and our refugee system. They've conflated language, they've changed language from a legal border crosser to irregular border crosser to comply with the United Nations, and there's many, many more subtle things that the Liberal government has done to normalize this situation. This party plank, calls that behavior out and unequivocally says we will put an end to it. Here we go. 2019 electoral platform. Issue: the Liberal government is deliberately attempting to erase our borders. Over the past 3 years, it has done nothing to stop the flow of tens of thousands of asylum seekers illegally crossing our borders. Accepting all these refugees will cost Canadian taxpayers billions of dollars. Moreover, in 2018, Canada welcomed more resettled refugees than any other Western country, more than the United States, a country with 10 times our population, and as many as all of the European Union. The UN's Global Compact for Migration, which the Liberal government signed last year, aims to normalize this kind of situation and to make it easier for millions of people to move to Canada and other Western democracies at will. Facts. Since 2017, more than 45,000 migrants have illegally entered Canada, mainly at Roxham Road in Quebec, avoiding official border checkpoints where they would be turned away and told to file refugee claims in the United States. About 40% of the refugee claims that have been processed have been rejected. These false refugees will eventually have to be deported after costing governments tens of thousands of dollars each. A report by the Parliamentary Budget Officer found that the federal government spends on average about $14,000 for each asylum seeker crossing into Canada outside of official border points. The total annual cost for federal agencies to process these claims is expected to reach $396 million in 2019-2020. It does not include expenses incurred by the provinces, territories, or municipalities which pick up costs related to social services. And I just want to point out here very quickly, this is me, not the policy platform, the budgeted amount of money for 2018-2019 year, so the 2017-2018 and 2018-2019 had $172 million budgeted for illegal border crossers. And that is not nearly enough. They spent more than that in 2017-18, the fiscal year 2017-18, and they spent more than that in fiscal year 2018-19, right? So it blew it out of the water, in fact. It totally killed the budget a couple of times over. They spent almost $1 billion, right? This is a lot of money on non-citizens. It's incredible. So, and I've done reports on this as well. Here's our plan. Our current refugee policy is unsustainable, costly, and it is being abused by false refugees at our borders. This must end. The moral obligation of Canada's government is to first help those in need among our own population, and then to give priority to real refugees. A People's Party government will accept fewer resettled refugees. See also the immigration policy linked. I've done a look at that as well. Take every measure necessary in partnership with our American neighbors to stop the flow of illegal migrants at the U.S.-Canadian border. Declare the whole border an official entry point for the purposes of refugee claims to send back to the U.S. anyone trying to enter Canada illegally. Fence off the areas where illegal border jumping is prevalent, such as Roxham Road in Quebec. Rely on private sponsorships instead of having the government pay for all the costs of resettling refugees in Canada. Stop our reliance on the United Nations for refugee selection. Give priority to refugees belonging to persecuted groups who have nowhere to go in neighboring countries. For example, Christians, Yazidis, and members of other minority religions in majority Muslim countries, members of the Ahmadi community, and other Muslims in these communities who are persecuted because they reject political Islam and adhere to Western values, and members of sexual minorities. Take Canada out of the UN Compact for Migration. So that is a robust policy plan that is very clear about what is going to happen. And I think it's interesting. These 2 points, declaring the whole border an official entry point and fencing off the areas where illegal border jumping is prevalent. What Justin Trudeau did was, instead of moving to spend money to fence off the area and prevent border crossing at Roxham Road, Justin Trudeau built a compound to house people and to facilitate people coming in. This is not the message you want to send. If people are illegally crossing the border, you don't then put up buildings to house them, you stop them from doing that, and you put up a big fence and you stand somebody there, maybe the RCMP, and stop them from grabbing suitcases. And instead of grabbing suitcases, you tell them to tell the people to stop and to not climb the fence and to not come over the fence, or they will be returned to the United States and told to start a refugee claim there because they're in a safe country. It makes sense to me. It makes sense to me. It doesn't make sense to build a building and to have our police escorting people across the border to make sure they don't fall. It seems very, very strange because it doesn't help Canada and it costs taxpayers a lot of money. And so I think the goodwill that Canadians were feeling in 2015 has been misused by Justin Trudeau, mishandled, and unfortunately, Canada needs to take care of the problems that this Trudeau government has created within our own borders. The drugs, the homelessness, the cost of living. Thank you for watching, everyone. This was supposed to be a hard policy look, but I've added some color, so I apologize, or you're welcome, depending on your point of view. Thanks for watching, everybody. Check out the People's Party of Canada.ca, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.